Good morning, Year 4, and welcome to today's maths lesson. So we're going to be doing our last lesson on time today. Tomorrow we'll be doing our review where we apply our knowledge to different questions. Today we're going to be looking at problems with time. So it's going to be a little bit tricky, so make sure you do watch the whole video to help you. But first of all, we are going to get started with our do now. So as always, pause the video and come back when you're ready to mark them. Okay, hopefully you've managed to have a go at those, and hopefully you're managing to try and challenge yourself a little bit if you're feeling more confident now. Let's have a look at how you've done. So the answers are on your screen, so pause the video before I move on and mark them, and then come back and press play when you're ready. Okay, so as I said, we're going to be looking at problems with time today, but first of all, we are going to recap yesterday's learning, which was looking at years and months and weeks and days. So you can see some lengths of time on this side. I would like you to convert them just like we were doing yesterday. So you've got 4 to have a go at there. So pause the video yet again and have a go and come back when you're ready. Okay, so hopefully you've had a go at all of those. Let's just check the answers together. So 35 days into weeks. Well, 1 week is 7 days, so 35 divided by 7 is 5. 36 months into years, so there's 12 months in 1 year, so that should be 3 years. 25 days, again, this one doesn't go equally, so the closest is 3 weeks, which is 21 days, and 4 days left over. And then 42 months, quite a big one there. So how many groups of 12 could fit into that? It was 3 equal years and then 6 months left over. So well done if you got all those correct. So moving on to today's lesson. So we're going to look at adding and subtracting time first, because that is what our problems are based around, and it's really going to help us later. And it's quite a tricky skill. So do make sure you listen really carefully. So the first question we've got here is 2:37 plus 30 minutes. So I've laid it out here in an addition like we would usually do in school, because I'm adding. So surely this will be right. So let's have a look. 7 add 0 is 7. 3 add 3 is 6. And 2 add nothing is 2. So my new time, 2:37 add 30 is 2:67. So what I want you to do is think about, why should I not do that? Why is this not going to be the correct time? Why should I not be using column addition? Just pause the video, just have a quick think to yourself. I'm just going to pause for a moment. Why is that not right? Okay, so hopefully you've had a little bit of a think about that. So you might have recognised or remembered from our clock, there are only 60 minutes in 1 hour. So the biggest number I can have on this side would be not 60, but 59, because when I've gone all the way around my clock, the last minute here is 59, and then it goes to the next hour. So I know that this actually should have been past 3 o'clock. Because if I look at my clock, I'm just going to show you. So I've got 2:37, and if I'm to add on 30 minutes, it would have actually gone past 3 o'clock. So I cannot say now that the time is 2:67, okay? It would be 3:07. That's not going to make sense. So we cannot, absolutely cannot use our column addition today, okay? So you need to be listening. I'm going to show you what we can do to help us. So we're going to look at some examples together. Okay. So we've got our steps to success up to the side. Now it's a bit tricky to see on the camera, but I've actually done step 3 and step 5. I'm just going to circle them here in a slightly different colour. It's not that obvious on the screen there, because they're not going to apply to every single question that we do. Okay, as we move along, these ones will become more relevant. But I'm going to model that for you, so it should hopefully be nice and clear. So we're going to look at some easy ones first, and then we're going to move up to adding on hours and minutes. So first of all, I've got 6:29 plus 16 minutes. So I know that there are 60 minutes in an hour. So actually, if I'm only adding on 16 minutes, then it's not going to go past the next hour. So this one should be nice and easy. But I'm just going to show you following our steps to success so that it's nice and clear for you. So the first thing I'm going to do is check the operation, because I need to know whether I'm adding or subtracting because obviously that's going a different way on my clock, okay? The time's going to be an hour before maybe, or an hour later. So I need to make sure I'm nice and clear what I'm doing there. So this one is add. So I'm adding time on. The next thing I'm going to do is draw my number line, okay? So I'm just going to draw a straight line. It doesn't have to be a certain length, just a straight line there. That's going to help me, okay? And now I'm going to show you why. So here in step 3 says add or subtract whole hours. Now I'm only adding on 16 minutes at the moment, so this one is not relevant. That's why I've circled it, because I don't need to add on any whole hours, because 16 minutes is just over a quarter of an hour. It's much smaller, okay? So I can't do this step at the moment. So the next thing I'm going to do is calculate the time to the nearest 10. So let's have a look. So I'm adding on time, so I'm going to start at this side of my number line and label it 6:29, because that's the time that I'm starting with. I don't know what the time is I'm ending at, that's what I'm trying to find out. But I am adding on 16 minutes. So in my head, I could do 29, add on 16, but when we get to some trickier ones later, it's going to be a bit harder to do that if we're going past the hour. So I'm going to round it to the nearest 10. So my next 10 after 29 is 30, so 6:30 is going to be a little bit easier. Then I've got a nice rounded number. So I'm going to label that so it's nice and clear on here. I've added on 1. So I've added 1 so far to get to 6:30. I've added 1 minute, okay? So now I need to think about what I need to add on to make it 16 minutes, okay? So I could next calculate the time to the nearest hour, but again, because I'm not going past an hour this time, okay, because it's going to be less than 60 minutes, I'm not going to do step 5, okay? So I'm just going to calculate the remaining time. So I've already added on 1 minute, but I was adding on 16, so I need to make sure that I'm only adding on what is remaining, what is left. So if I do 16 take away 1, 16 take away 1 is 15. I can do that in my head. So I need to add on another 15 minutes. 1 add 15 is 16. So I'm adding on 15 more minutes. Now, because I've rounded to the nearest 10 here, I can easily do this in my head now. 30 plus 15. I know that 30 plus 10 is 40, plus 5 is 45. So it's going to be 6:45. And I know that's correct because it hasn't gone past the hour, so it's still going to be 6 o'clock. So I've calculated the remaining time. So 6:29 plus 16 minutes is 6:45. Okay? Let's have a look at an example with subtraction now. So again, I'm going to circle my operation for step 1. So I know it's subtract. So I'm going to be going backwards if I'm subtracting. So I'm going to draw my number line for step 2. And this time, because I'm going backwards, so I don't get confused, I'm going to start on this side of my number line. So I'm going to label this 5:53. I'm doing 5:53 subtract 27 minutes. So I've done step 1 and 2. Remember, step 3 doesn't count this time because I haven't got any whole hours. I've just got minutes. So now I need to calculate to the nearest 10. So remember, I'm going backwards this time. So it's not going to be 60. My nearest 10 is going to be 50 because I'm subtracting. So 53, the closest 10 when I go down is 50. So I'm going to label this 0, 5, 50. 50 minutes past 5. So I'm going backwards. So thinking, how many have I taken away to get from 53 to 50? 53 to 50. I've subtracted 3. So the next thing that I need to do now is calculate the remaining time. So I wanted to take away 27 minutes in total. So I want you to think, what do I need to do next? So I've already taken away 3, but I want to take away 27. So think what we did here. I need to do 27, take away 3 to find the remaining time. 7 take away 3, it's 4. 2 take away nothing is 2. So I need to take away another 24 minutes to make sure I've subtracted 27. So I'm going to do minus 24. It doesn't matter how big these are. It's not accurate. It's just to help me with my working out, okay? So I need to do 50 take away 24. So again, I could do that in my head, but if you're finding that a little bit tricky, remember you can always write down your working out as well. So I'm going to do 50 minutes minus 24 minutes. So 0 take away 4, I can't do. This is why it might be a bit tricky in your head. So I'm going to regroup. 10 take away 4 is 6, and 4 take away 2 is 2. So it's going to be 26 in my minutes. And remember, I've not gone past the hour because I'm still in between 5 and 6 o'clock. So it's going to be 5. Okay, so I've calculated the remaining time. So 5:53 take away 27 minutes is 5:26. Okay, so I'm just going to show you that in the clock just to make that nice and clear. So if I'm at 5 o'clock here, 5:50, 1, 2, 3. So I've got 5:53 and I want to take away 27 minutes. We're just going to check that's correct. And if you've got a clock at home, you can always use that to help you as well. So first of all, I took away 1, 2, 3 minutes. Okay. And then I had to take away another 24. So 5, 10, 15, 20, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so I'm 1 minute past 25, so I'm 5:26. So that was my answer. Okay, so if you've got a clock at home, you can use that to help you. Right, now we're going to have a look at some trickier examples where we're going to go past the hour. So some of our other steps might come in handy this time. So 11:38 plus 49 is my next example. So I know I'm adding, that's my operation. So I'm going to draw my number line. I'm adding, so I know I'm going to start at this side. So I'm going to label that 11:38, so I'm adding on to that time. So again, it says add or subtract whole hours. Do I have any whole hours this time? No, it doesn't say any hours there, it's just minutes, because 49 minutes is less than 1 hour. So I'm going to cross that one because I don't need that step yet. So now I need to calculate the time with the nearest 10. So if I'm adding, what is the next 10, the nearest 10 multiple of 10 that I'm going to get to from 38? What is the next 10? Thinking in your head. Hopefully you're saying 11:40 is going to be the next one. So I need to calculate how much time has passed there. So from 38 to 40, 38, 39, 40. 2 minutes have passed. So I'm going to put +2 up there so I don't forget. Okay, so I've already added 2 minutes, so I can tick that off. Now I need to calculate time to the nearest hour. Okay, so that's going to help this time because I know 40 to 60 minutes is going to be past the next hour because there are only 60 minutes in the hour. So I'm going to follow the same step as I did before. I'm going to find out what I've got left. Oh. So I'm just going to not do that because we can actually find out the nearest hour. So we don't need to do that just yet. So to get to the nearest hour, my next hour is going to be 12 o'clock. Okay. So I want you to think, if I'm at 11:40, how many minutes to the next hour? So 40, 50, 60. There are 2 10 minutes. So 20 minutes. So the reason I didn't do this step is because now we can find out how much we need to add on. So I've done the time to the nearest hour. So far I have added on 22 minutes or 2 and 20, 22 minutes in total. I want to add on 49 minutes. So now I can do the next step. So 49, subtract 22 to see what I can add on now. So 9 take away 2 is 7, 4 take away 2 is 2. So I need to add on another 27 minutes, okay? So I'm at 12 o'clock, so I know I can just add it on, because I'm at 0 now at 12 o'clock. If I add on 27 minutes, it's going to be 27 minutes past 12, okay? So when I'm at 0, if I'm adding, I can just add it on the end. So I haven't left myself much space here on my number line, so I'm just going to add a little bit more on. So plus 27 mins is going to be 12:27. I'm just going to write that a little bit clearer up there. 12:27 is going to be my answer. So hopefully you can lay it out a little bit better than me and neater at home. Okay, let's have a look at an example now with our subtraction. Okay, so 12:10 minus 38 minutes this time. So I'm going to check my operation first. So I know it's subtract, so I've just read that to myself. And then I can draw my number line. So I've done step 1 and step 2. So remember, if I'm doing my subtraction, I'm going to start at this side because I'm going backwards. I'm taking away. So 12:10. Okay, so I'm going to go through my steps. I don't need to add or subtract whole hours this time because, again, 38 minutes is less than an hour. Calculate time to the nearest 10. So I've already got this on the nearest 10, so I don't need to do that step this time because I'm already on a 10 minutes. So I'm going to cross that step out. That's not going to help me. Calculate time to the nearest hour. So that one's definitely going to help because I'm at 10 past 12, so I need to get to the nearest hour. So if I'm going backwards, I'm at 10 past 12. What is the hour that I've just passed? If I take the minutes away, what's my hour going to be before? So hopefully you can recognise that it is going to be 12 o'clock. Okay, it's not 1 o'clock because remember I'm taken away, I'm going backwards. Okay, so to get from 12:10 to 12, how many minutes have I taken away? So I was at 10 minutes past, now I'm back to 0 o'clock. So hopefully you recognise I'm minusing 10 minutes there. Okay. Right, so I've calculated my time to the nearest hour for step 5. Now I can calculate the remaining time. Now it's very good this time because we've got 10 minutes there, so it should be nice and easy to calculate in your head. So I was subtracting 38, so I need to do 38 minus 10. Now hopefully we can do that in your head without having to think about it too much. And it should be 28. So I'm taking away another 28 minutes. So 12 o'clock, take away 28 minutes. So this is a little bit tricky because I don't want to put here, I'm not going to write that this is 11:28. Because remember, there are 60 minutes in an hour, so I need to make sure that I subtract from 60 to get that second number. Okay, so I need to do 60 minus 28, because that's how many minutes I've got when I'm at 0 o'clock. So 0 take away 8, I can't do that. So I'm going to do 10 take away 8, which is 2. 5 take away 2 is 3. So my actual time that needs to be on this side is 32. So I'm just going to show you on the clock to make that nice and clear as we've been practicing. So if I'm at 12 o'clock and I want to minus 28 minutes, I'm going to go 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 26, 27, 28. Okay, so it's 32 minutes past, not 28 minutes past. This is why it's really important that I subtract from 60. Okay, right. Hopefully that's becoming a little bit clearer now. Let's look at some examples with hours and minutes this time. So 13:54 plus 3 hours and 22 minutes. So it seems a little bit tricky. However, adding on the hours is not as difficult as it seems. So let's just quickly have a look together. So check the operations. I'm adding. So I know I'm going to be starting at this side of my number line. So I'm going to draw a number line to help me. I'm going to make it a little bit bigger this time. And I'm going to put it down this side because I know I'm adding. So 13:54. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do now after drawing my number line, step 3, is adding or subtracting the whole hours. So I've got 3 whole hours here. Now, I want you to think, in 13:54, which number is representing the hours? Thinking back to what we've been learning, which number is representing the hours? So hopefully you have remembered it is the 13 on this side, which would be 1 o'clock in the afternoon, 1 p.m. So because I'm just adding whole hours there, I can just add on 3 to this side. Because if I was at 1 o'clock and I had added on 1 whole hour, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, okay, my minutes haven't changed, okay, it's just the hour that has changed there. So I can do 13 plus 3 hours, so 13, 14, 15, 16 is going to be 1600, 4 o'clock, and my minutes haven't changed yet. I haven't added on any minutes yet. So I'm just going to say that's 1654. So I've added on my whole hours, okay? So it's just this one that's changing. So now I can go back to have a look at the minutes, okay? So I'm at 54 and I'm adding on 22. Now I know in my head 54 to get to 60 is definitely a lot less than 22, so it's going to go into the next hour. So at the minute, I'm at 1654. I'm very close to it being 5 o'clock, so I know it's going to probably go past 5 o'clock. So let's just follow our steps to make sure we get it correct. So I'm going to calculate now the time to the nearest 10. So my nearest 10 to 54, the next one is actually going to be, hopefully you're saying 60, because remember the next one, if I round up, is going to be the hour. So even though I'm rounding to the nearest 10, I'm also rounding to the nearest hour at the same time as well. So to the nearest hour, the next one, and the nearest 10 is going to be 1700, which is 5 o'clock. Okay? So the next thing I now need to do is make sure I record on top. So from 54 to the next hour, remembering there's 60, so I need to count from 54 to 60. So 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60. So hopefully you can do that in your head. I'm just making it nice and clear for you. So I've added on 6 minutes there. So far in total up to step 5, I've added on 3 hours and 6 minutes. I didn't want to just add that on. I wanted 3 hours and 22 minutes. So I need to calculate the remaining time. So this is where my subtraction comes in. So I can ignore the hours. It's the minutes that I'm worried about now, because I've already added those. So 22 minus 6. So hopefully you can do that in your head. I know 22 minus 6. Okay, let's have a look and check it. So I'm going to regroup. 12 take away 6 is 6 and 1. So it's 16 minutes. So because I'm already at the hour, remember I can just add on my minutes this time, plus 16, and I'm going to get 17, 16. Okay, so this answer would be 17, 16. But let's look at our final example together. And there's a lot of examples today, guys, but it is very tricky in adding and subtraction time. And because we've got 2 lessons short this week, we are squeezing quite a lot in, but we will practice when we get back to school. So let's look at one with subtraction this time. So checking my operation, it's subtract, so I need to start at this side. 10:25. And I'm taking away 2 hours and 49 minutes. So I've done step 1 and 2. Now I need to take away the whole hours. So I want you to think in your head, what is the new number going to be when I've subtracted 2 hours? Take away 2 hours. So 10 take away 2 is 8. Hopefully you're saying 8. My minutes, remember, do not change. Okay? So that is still going to be 8:25. Okay, so I've done my adding and subtracting hours. Now I need to think about calculating to the nearest 10. So I'm at 25. So if I'm subtracting, what is the next 10 going to be? Multiple of 10. Is it going to be 30 or 20? 25 is right in the middle. Remember, I'm subtracting 20 or 30. So hopefully you're saying 20. So the next one is going to be 8:20. And I've taken away 5 minutes. Okay, so we're only at 20 minutes at the minute. So let's see, for our next step, I need to calculate to the nearest hour. So the nearest hour, I'm at 20 minutes past 8. Remember, I'm going backwards. So if I'm at 20 minutes past 8, let's just have a look at that, 20 past 8, I'm taking away, so if I'm taking away, I'm going to be 5, 10, 15, 20 minutes away from 8 o'clock, okay? So I need to go to 8 o'clock and I'm subtracting 20 minutes. So am I finished? Is my answer 8 o'clock? Hopefully you're saying, no, Miss Jones, that is not correct. It's not 8 o'clock. We need to still subtract. We need to calculate the remaining time. So I need to know 49, subtract however many minutes I've taken away, which is 25. Remember, I don't need to worry about the hours at this point. So 9 take away 5 is 4. And 4 take away 2 is 2. So I've still got another 24 minutes. I need to minus 24 minutes, okay? So remember what we talked about before. I'm not going to say the answer is 7:24. I know I'm going to be 7 in my hours because the hour before 8 o'clock is 7. But if I subtract 24 minutes, it needs to be from what number? What number am I subtracting 24 from? Think about how many minutes are in 1 hour. So hopefully you're saying, remember, I need to do 60 take away 24. So I'm running out of a little bit of space there, so I'm just going to do it on this side, 60 minus 24. Hopefully you can use your head as well if you need to. We're just going to check it. So 0 take away 4, I can't do. So 10 take away 4 is 6. 5 take away 2 is 36. So it should be 7:36. So do make sure you check it. So if I do 5, 10, 15, 20, 24. So that showed me 36 minutes past 7. Okay. Right, I know there's a lot of examples there, year 4, but as I said, it is quite a tricky skill. If you're feeling really confident, then obviously you can go away and have a go at the problems as well, but I am going to go through some examples. So on your document that you have, you've got some questions to get on with. Now, they do get progressively harder as it goes along. So if you're getting a bit stuck when you get down to the bottom ones, just obviously have a go at the top ones, that's absolutely fine. But if you are confident, do have a go at all of them. I've put in the number lines to support you for the first few questions, and then obviously you've got a space to draw in your own as you go along. If you don't have the worksheet printed out, obviously just draw them in your book at home. That's absolutely fine as well. And make sure you're following the steps to success to help you. So pause the video, go away and have a go. And then if you want to go through some of the word problems for task 2, do come back and I'm going to explain a couple of those for you as well. Good luck, off you go. Okay, welcome back. Really well done if you've managed to have a go at those. Hopefully it wasn't too tricky. Make sure you've checked your answers and you're confident before you go on to the word problem. Because if you're still finding the time adding and subtracting a bit tricky, then the word problems are obviously going to be a bit tricky for you as well, because you're going to be applying those skills. So I'm going to go through a couple of word problems now before you go on to task 2. So Hannah is flying to Miami. She leaves at 9:37 a.m. and the flight takes 190 minutes. What time does she arrive? So first of all, I need to identify what I'm going to do. So I know a flight's taking off at 9:37 and it takes 190 minutes. So I want to know what time she gets there. So I'm doing 9:37 at 190 minutes, okay? So I can follow my steps from before and add on 190 minutes. However, it's a little bit tricky here because 190 minutes is probably a bit hard to add on because I know there's only 60 minutes in 1 hour. So what I'm going to do is first is convert this into a different format, okay? So 190 minutes, I need to first of all work out what that is equal to. So 190 minutes is the same as, so I need to think about how many minutes are in 1 hour. So I know there are 60 minutes in 1 hour. There are 120 minutes in 2 hours. So what would be the next one here? Think about what we were learning yesterday. 6, 12, how many are going to be in 3 hours? So hopefully you've remembered it's 180. So I know if I go any further, that's going to be too big. So I know this is the same as 3 hours and how many minutes left over. So it was 190. 3 hours is 180. I know the difference between 80 and 90 is 10. So it should be 3 hours and 10 minutes. So that's how long Hannah's flight takes in total. So I'm actually doing 9:37 add 3 hours and 10 minutes. Okay, so I can follow my steps to success as we did before, and I know that I need to draw my number line to help me. So because I'm adding, I'm going to start on here. I'm going to do 9:37. And then I need to start adding on my time. So remember, I'm going to add my hours first. So I'm going to add on 3 hours. So I know 9 is my hours here. So 9, 10, 11, 12. And then my minutes are going to stay the same. So 12:37. Now, there's something really important that says here is AM, which we're going to come back to in a moment. Because if this is AM in the morning, I'm now at 12:37 after lunchtime. So this is going to be PM. So I know when I write my answer, it also needs to be in PM as well. So I've added on my 3 hours. Now I need to add on 10 minutes. So I know that it's not going to go past the hour this time. So I could round to the nearest 10, but I know that I'm just adding on to the minutes this time, and it's not going to go up to 60. So I can just add on the 10 because it's a nice round number. So I don't need to round to the nearest 10 this time. So 37 plus 10, 12:37 plus 10, so 30, 40. So my answer is going to be 12:40. Okay. Now remember, if I was going to answer this question, I need to make sure I put PM because it started off as AM, but our flight's taken time, so she's now arriving there in the afternoon. So 12:47 PM. Okay, let's look at one more example together before you go off and have a go. Okay, Emily and James are waiting for their plane to arrive. They should have departed at 12:27, but have found out that they will now be departing at 14:53. Oh dear. By how many minutes has their plane been delayed? So this means that they're having to now wait. Their plane is leaving late. So we want to know how much time they're going to have to sit and wait for their plane. Okay, it's running very late, which happens a lot, sadly. So it should have gone at 12:27. It's now going at 14:53. How many minutes has it been delayed? So I know the start and end time this time of when the flight should have gone and when it is going to go, but I don't know how many minutes there are. So I need to find the difference. Now, if we were doing a normal word problem, I might do 14:53 take away 12:37 to find the difference. But remember, we cannot do that when we're looking at time. So I need to find the difference on my number line. So I'm going to start at this side and I'm going to keep adding until I get to 14:53. So 12:27. Now, you might be really confident doing this straight for the next hour, but I'm going to break it up into smaller parts like we did when we were rounding, when we were practicing before. So I know the next multiple of 10 is 12:30, and I've added on 3 minutes there. Make sure you're recording this so it's nice and clear so you don't forget. So I'm at 12:30 now, and I know I'm trying to look for 14:53. So I'm going to go to the next hour, so that's nice and clear for me. So 12:30, the next hour is going to be 1 o'clock. Okay? Oh, I've just realised it shouldn't be 1 o'clock. What should it be written in? Yes, it's in, so it should be 1300 is 1 o'clock, so 1300. So I've added on 30 minutes there to get from 30 to the next hour. So far I've added on 33 minutes. So I'm now at 1 o'clock. So I need to think about what I can logically do next. That's going to help me add on time. So it's actually 14:53. So I'm going to add on another hour to get me to 1400. So that's 1 plus 1 hour I've added on. Okay. So if I'm at 2 o'clock, I'm just going to show you my clock now. I want you to think, what should I add on next if I want to get to 53 minutes past 2? Should I add it in tenths? Should I add it in 15 minutes? What is going to be the best thing to do? So you can pause the video and have a think, or just think quick in your head. I'm just going to pause for a moment. So the best thing that I could do at this point is just add on the 53 minutes, because I know from at 2 o'clock, 53 minutes past is going to be within the hour, okay? So I can just add on the 53 minutes to get to 14:53, as long as I record it and add it correctly at the end. So I've got lots to add this time, okay? You might find a different way of doing it, but you need to just think carefully about how you're going to break it down to make it easier so we don't make any mistakes. So now I can start to add on my time. So it's going to be a bit tricky because I've got 53 and 30, which already is going to equal more than 60. So I'm going to probably have to do some converting as well. So I'm going to do 53 minutes. I'm going to leave the hour for now because I can add that on later. 53 plus 30 plus 3. Okay. So 3 add 3 is 6. And 5 add 3 is 8. So I've got 86. So I'm not going to say they are waiting an hour and 86 minutes because that doesn't make sense, okay? Because there are more than 60 minutes. There's only 60 minutes in the hour and there's more there, okay? So I need to think about 86 minutes in hours and minutes, okay? Which is what we've been practicing. So hopefully you can apply this skill now. So in 86 minutes, I know there is 1 hour. That would be 60. And then from 60, I'm going to count 60, 70, 80. So that's 26 minutes, okay? You can do it like this. 86 minus 60 to help you. 6 take away 0, 8 take away 2. I'm still going to get exactly the same answer. So if you can do it in your head, fantastic. If you want to write it down, that's also fine. So 1 hour and 26 minutes. So that's how many minutes were there. But I need to remember to add on this hour. So 1 hour added on, I would have 2 hours and 26 minutes. Okay, so I know that was a little bit tricky, that one, but that's to help those people who want to challenge themselves with the more tricky questions towards the end. So we've got, again, 5 questions there to get on with. They do start off a little bit easier, where you're just adding within the hour, or just adding on simply hours as well. When you get down to here, there might be some more steps, or you might need to convert the time as we just did there as well. So it is really tricky adding and subtracting time. As I said, we squeezed quite a lot into one lesson because we've got lots of things going on this week, but do your best. If you can just complete the first couple of questions, then fantastic, because that's really great as well. The ones towards the bottom are more challenging, so don't worry if you're finding the ones at the bottom a little bit tricky. But do post your work to Seesaw, and then your teachers can help you. And then when we get back to school, we'll be doing lots and lots of practice in our maths meetings. So have a great day, everybody, and I will see you again tomorrow. Bye.